So what do you do in New York? And when you have kids and you're at Lincoln Place, of course you go to the circus, the Big Apple Circus. This circus has been coming here for 35 years. Still appreciated by the New York Times. Sugar spins and popcorn. Traditional circus or what? I went backstage at the Big Apple Circus and interviewed the artistic director. So I'm here talking to Guillaume Dufresnoy, and he's the artistic director of the Big Apple. Like, how old is this circus?
So this circus is 38 years old.
And how long have you been with it?
I have been with this circus for 28 years.
28 years?
Yes.
Always on the road?
Always on the road, always with this circus. I came for the 10th anniversary season.
Yeah. How many people see this circus every year?
On average, we have between 250 and 275,000 people who see the show every season.
Okay, and now we are here in the Lincoln Center in New York, but how many places do you do on the East Coast?
The number of places varies from year to year, but we do between 5 and 8, 9 different locations.
Okay, what floored me is that every year you have a complete new show, right? All the artists leave and new ones come.
Absolutely. We have a lot of people who come back year after year. So what we do is that we do a brand new show, from the set to the costume, the music, the scenery, and the entire cast except for the ringmaster and the animal trainer. They stay from year to year and do something different every year. But everybody else changes.
How many permanent people are in this circus?
We have roughly 50 permanent employees. And like now when we're on tour, we are 110 people on location.
Yeah. And so it's 32 artists this year, and that they are mostly replaced every year.
I start planning the show usually 2-3 years before opening date. We start rehearsals 4 or 5 weeks before opening. That's the only time we have to actually put the show together. Mm-hmm. And then the artists stay with us for from opening, which is in September, all the way through June or July, whenever the end of the season is.
Mm. And this circus, who is it owned by?
So the circus is not owned by anyone. This is a non-for-profit organization. So technically it's owned by the citizen of the state of New York. We are non-for-profit for several reasons. Circus arts need support if you want to do good quality in a small venue. Yeah. And then in addition to the show, we have a lot of community programs. The flagship is Clown Care, over 100 clowns who go to hospital, pediatrics, and geriatrics institutions throughout the country. Mm-hmm. We distribute tickets to other non-for-profit. We have a show adapted for hearing or vision impaired children. That's called Circus of the Senses. And we have also started a show that's adapted in a different way for children on the autism spectrum.
And so how is it difficult to put a circus like this together financially, to sell enough tickets and to raise enough money?
Yeah, it is very challenging to keep this circus going. Circus arts, especially in the United States, are not necessarily perceived as an art form that needs support. Mm-hmm. It's much more understood that a ballet, an opera,
all the other ones here
all
in
the other
Lincoln
one
Center,
around,
yeah.
It's very well known that they need a lot of support. Circus there is a connotation of being an outfit that makes a lot of money, and this is not the case for us. So we need to do intense fundraising to stay alive.
Yeah, I thought you did very well until 9/11, right? After 9/11, it was really difficult.
Well, it was difficult after 9/11 for a fairly brief period of time. But what really has been a challenge for us has been the 2008-2009 financial crisis, and we have not recovered from that as of yet. We do a lot of fundraising. We're very proud that probably 70% of our budget is earned through ticket sales and concession sales, but we need to raise 30% of the budget through fundraising, and it's very difficult. New York is our hometown. We're here for 3 months. This is where we need to do most of our ticket sales and most of our fundraising. Yes.
Yeah. You're French. Your assistant is French. Art Circus du Soleil is French-Canadian. What is it with French and circus?
Well, I think in France, for example, circus is really recognized as performing art that is as prestigious as the others. And so a lot of us have been exposed to circus. I went to the circus with my mother until I was 17 every year. It was considered normal. It was not just a kiddie show. It was part of the culture landscape.
Yeah. So we're getting a tour backstage. The kids love it. How much time does it take to break down?
At Lincoln Center, it takes us 2 weeks to break down and approximately 3 weeks to load in. When we are on tour, it takes us 24 hours to pack and approximately 4 days to be ready to perform again.
What's the difference here and on tour?
Here we are on an esplanade that does not allow us to put stage in the ground, so we have to build a structure with concrete blocks and catenary cables, which takes an enormous amount of time.
Okay, so like here, so these concrete blocks are necessary to put the tent, to keep it steady. What did you think?
Well, it was very fun, and my favorite show was the African people with the backflips and the flick-flacks, and my favorite animal was the dog.
Next year again?
Yeah.
So Mariah, what did you think?
Fun!
Want to go next year?
Yes.